Yeah, no, it's important. I think speaking for myself and a bunch of the other athletic trainers, sometimes get overlooked or not noticed as much, which sometimes can be a good thing, honestly, because usually in a game, if we're not noticed, that's usually a good thing. But it's a chance to recognize the profession and all the things we do besides handing out water and taping ankles and whatnot. But also to teach people that come and ask us questions about it. You know, what is Athletic Training Month? Well, a lot more than just what you see. A lot behind the scenes, behind the curtains. You know, rehabs, treatments, doctor's appointments, whatever it may be. But it's a chance to recognize and appreciate a profession that sometimes can get overlooked.
It's also, though, becoming a lot more in terms of mental health awareness, and the MAC as a whole has been really good about starting to recognize mental health. How much now does that play into your day-to-day jobs of trying to help kids stay mentally fit?
Yeah, it's a huge role. I mean, when I was an undergrad a couple of years ago, we talked about we had one class maybe, and even since then, maybe 5 years ago, it's just ballooned, it's exploded since then. So it's ultimately caring about the physical and mental health and well-being of the student athletes. Having 2 psychologists, sports psychologists on staff is huge. So I think years ago it was all physical, how are you doing, how you feeling, but now there's a mental part of it too. That's equally as important, if not more important, to get the help that these student athletes need. Yeah.
I talked with Luke a little bit about it, but athletic training, making sure people recognize there are different levels. I mean, you guys are athletic trainers, sports medicine professionals, but there's trainers that help you in kind of the gym in terms of working out, and then there's sports performance. So they're all 3 vastly different categories, right?
Right. Yeah, no, and it's important to have a good relationship with them too. With the sports performance staff in the Student Athlete Performance Center, they're right below us, so it's easy to go down there and talk to them, but that's more so performance-based. So faster, stronger, whereas we're healthier or maintenance to stay healthy. But that relationship is huge, especially in college athletics, to not only keep them safe and healthy, but ensure that we have the same goal in mind of getting them to compete to the best of their ability.
What interested you and made you want to decide this was the career path that I wanted?
Yeah, so 2 of my most important figures in my family are my parents. My mom works in healthcare. My dad introduced me to sports growing up. So kind of the clash of the sports world and the healthcare world, I think, is athletic training. I took a class in high school and I enjoyed it. And I applied to the undergrad program at UWL. In undergrad, loved it, and the rest is history.
What interested you in coming to Eastern? I mean, getting the option to now work with football, be part of the team, but what was it that said Eastern's where I want to be?
Yeah, I think it's the people and then going 0-2 against them in football at NIU. The 2 years I was there, but the 2 years at NIU I got to know some of the people in the MAC conference. I think it's a good conference, and I knew Danielle. She was the same position as me a couple years earlier than me at NIU. So that the inter-MAC mingling, if you will, talking to the staff before and after the game, I knew I wanted to stick around in the MAC, and Eastern was a perfect fit for me.
Being able to learn while still mastering your craft. I mean, working with Steven, Danielle, Gretchen, how did they help you get better each day?
Yeah, no, just bouncing ideas off each other for the most part. I mean, I'm still a relatively young professional in the field. And Steven and Danielle have been working together for a couple years now. So they have their own little routine, but me coming in and bouncing my ideas off of them and going to ask them questions and their opinion on certain scenarios has allowed me to grow even more. Just having those people there for me has been huge for me growing, even the last 8 months that I've been here. Balancing
that cheerleader to help them get back on the field to then seeing their progress once they actually hit the field. What's a rewarding moment for you professionally without getting into kind of too much detail? Yeah,
I think just generally speaking, it's picking the student athlete up at their lowest, mentally and physically. Let's say they get injured on a play on the field or court. Seeing them in that moment, then go through this long-term rehab if it's a surgical case. And seeing how they mature and grow through that process, and then seeing them get back onto the field and perform to the best of their ability is one of the most rewarding things and one of the main reasons I picked this profession.
When you look back at coming through the ranks and the professionals that have helped you get to this point, what are you most thankful for?
Always being there. We put in a lot of hours. Athletic trainers put in a lot of hours. I still have connections, or I talk to people daily, if not, or weekly, if not monthly, at NIU. My undergrad, UW Lacrosse, and then even a couple people at the Baltimore Ravens. Just being there for me whenever I need help or want to bounce an idea off them.
Anything I didn't ask that you think's important?
I mean, we talked about it last week. You guys get a week of appreciation for what you guys do. Some professions get a day, we get a month. So if you haven't or said a thank you to one of your athletic trainers yet, March is a long month, so you got plenty of time to do so.